Hey everyone, Justin Russell with RussellMarineProducts.com, and we are in Tampa Bay, Florida. A little different from what you've seen us in the past. This is incredible. So we're down here with our friends from PowerPole, and it's coming. This is the brand new PowerPole Move. So they've got this version here, which is called the PV version, which is going to be for your offshore boats, your walleye style boats, your aluminum deep V boats, so the all-around trolling motor, if you will. And then they've got the CR version, which is going to be like your bass boat style boats, your shallow water boats. So we're here with Dan from PowerPole, and we're going to go over some of the cool features today on the PV version. And I'm still blown away at some very cool features that we're going to get into with this. I'm a little speechless on this, trying to collect myself, but really, really awesome features here. I'm going to let Dan kind of take over and explain some of the engineering portions and what they really wanted to bring to the market on this here today.
Cool. Well, we appreciate you coming down. I know we're a couple weeks away from releasing the trolling motor that everybody's been waiting for. But when we set out to build a trolling motor, you know, we had to make it the best, no compromises. First thing, when we came to building a saltwater style trolling motor, which is the PV, which stands for pivot, it's the way that it stows and deploys. We wanted to make that a lot easier. So we did a simple step and stow deployment. You step, it pops up, and you drop it in the water. When you're ready to put it back on the deck, step, pick it up on any angle that's comfortable for you so you don't hurt your back. You just lock it in and set it down. So step one was putting it in and out of the water. We had to improve that. Step two, we went with a titanium shaft. We noticed a lot of other trolling motors were built with fiberglass shafts. Well, over time, they break, they splinter. So we went with titanium. It's extremely corrosion resistant, extremely light, but if you somehow were to hit something so hard that a fiberglass shaft would explode, our shaft might bend a little bit, but you keep fishing all day long. You won't even know it. And we're so confident in this shaft, we're gonna offer a lifetime warranty on it.
Okay. Some of the stuff that you guys may not know, we're an ASC center for other trolling motors as well too, and we've seen when a shaft gets cracked or shatters completely, but a lot of times on a crack, sometimes the customer doesn't even know it's cracked. Well, we'll end up with water intrusion. So not only then are we replacing the shaft, but we're literally replacing everything on the internals on that to be able to fix it, to get it back up for the customer, because again, over time, they don't realize it's cracked and it's taken on water. So a lot lighter with going with titanium too, right? Like I can tell too, way lower profile on the deck. We're not big, bulky, it's more sleek. Obviously you have a transmission here, right? So that's with any sort of anchor locking ability trolling motor, you're always got a transmission somewhere, whether it's up top, on this point here, obviously with this PV motor, it's down here on the lower part, but I'm still looking like super small head design, super sleek, very sleek, brushless trolling motor, correct? Like brushless motor in here, right?
Absolutely, and that's one thing, when we set out to build it, you know, we didn't go source a trolling motor from other manufacturers. We went, built our own motor, built our own drivers, and we tuned this motor to get the most horsepower, the most thrust out of it with the electrical systems, with the batteries in your boat. You can run it on 24 or 36 if you need more power. You mentioned the steering motor. Let me lock it in the key here. The steering motor has a planetary gear system, so it's extremely quiet. Earlier, I had you hold the shaft and try and stop it. It's got an insane amount of torque. But even if you started stripping gears out of this steering motor, it will keep working. There's always fail-safes to keep you fishing all day long. And it's deadly silent. You can't hear anything.
Yeah, no. I will say, guys, we've done some video work in the past on comparing trolling motors, and one of the things a lot of people have brought up is how noisy it was or how quiet it is. This thing literally is completely silent. The water splashing around us from changing directions of the trolling motor or engaging the prop is significantly louder than engaging the prop itself. Like, the capabilities of like this sneaking up on stuff now, this is not my realm of fishing. I know here we are in Florida, this is your guys' stuff, but you are normal for sneaking up or having to be extremely quiet on fish on the flats, and you know, back home, we're in deeper water. We don't really have to worry about that so much, right? Like, we've seen some stuff with Josh Jones. If you do get too close to some fish, they will spook off. They hear the sonar pinging, they do hear some of the trolling motors, but you guys are fishing highly, highly pressured water. I mean, we're out here on Monday. There's a kayaker right around the corner from us, and there's some other boats out here working on the flats in the background and stuff like that, but obviously we're in a major metropolitan area, so you guys having to come up with something that's insanely quiet to be able to go up and sneak up on these fish. I mean, I'm standing in water and it's February here and it's 70 degrees. So I get where the silence and how quiet it has to be is very, very paramount. And obviously you guys have achieved that here. Can you tell me about some of the different shaft length options that you have for this? You also have a reverse thrust feature as well too on some things. Super cool remote, by the way. I know there's some other details I can't talk about right now, but this remote is really, really awesome. I really, really like all this stuff. A lot of integration, which is super cool that I know you guys are bringing to the table with this too. Again, I'm not trying to be at a loss for words here, but this is you guys brought something really, truly different to the market within the trolling motor realm, okay? And just from the different stuff that we've seen, the design's completely different. This, you know, stow and deploy feature here is really, really cool. I have bad back issues. I have scoliosis, and so Aaron and I were talking about it on the way down here with back features. Some of the other designs, like you say, you have to almost lock it down and then pull it forward first. I'm bending over to pull. And rough water, that's tough. Or you think you get it locked in, you go sit down the console and the boat bounces and the trolling motor comes back out and you realize it's not fully locked in. So then you're rushing back up to go do that. Everything here is super easy to work with, and just, it's tough, you know? Weight-wise, I know is a big deal for you guys out there on the boats too. On the bass boat version, weight for us is a huge deal because we noticed when we started mounting Ultrexes, Ghosts, and forced trolling motors to a lot of our bass boats, we're losing a mile an hour.
Yes.
Not only were we losing speed, but we're also, our line of sight is disrupted because it's so tall. It's really big and bulky. A lot of guys back in the day say, man, I really wish they could bring back the low profile like the Motor Guide Tour Edition from the early 2000s because it was such a sleeker, lower profile design. And you guys have kind of achieved that again. The head here is super small on that trolling motor as well too. So a lot of really neat features here that you guys were able to bring to the market. I know a lot of people have been anticipating this for a long time, so it's here, it's real, and it's coming real, real soon. So really, really excited about that. Can you explain some of the other features on here, like the reverse thrusting and how all that works without, you know, every time you come up on a flat like this comes up pretty quickly, or a stump, how does that reverse feature work?
Okay, on the saltwater style trolling motor, I know you mentioned we have a freshwater style and a saltwater style. The good thing about PowerPole, we build everything saltwater grade, 5-layer marine powder coated finish, all stainless hardware, titanium shaft. So even if you take our freshwater style trolling motor and put it in saltwater, it won't hurt it. Okay. It's all about how it deploys on the boat. For the saltwater style PV trolling motor, you mentioned the remote. It fits good in your hand, it's rechargeable, but you know, coming from the tournament redfish days, we always have 2 anglers on the boat. So when you have a trolling motor that used to come with 1 remote, you know, one guy was always in control. But we're gonna give you 2 remotes because as soon as you hook up, you know, the other guy needs to take control and run the trolling motor in and out of a creek, or put your power poles down with the trolling motor remote. So 2 remotes, PowerPole anchor control. You do have reverse, so in Louisiana we get into a lot of thick grass. You can hit reverse, clear the weeds. Sometimes we throw lures into the mangroves, you gotta retrieve them, so as you're coming up to the mangroves, you can hit reverse, slow the boat down, get your lure out, you know.
Without fighting the trolling motor back and forth and all that stuff.
Yeah, so just small features like that are improvements that we said when PowerPole makes a trolling motor, we need to go all in and build a trolling motor from the ground up. we have an integrated display right here on the front of the trolling motor, so I can see if I'm on anchor mode, if I'm on compass heading. I can see my speed setting up or down. It's just really well thought out, really overbuilt, and we just sourced all the best components that you could ever source to build an indestructible, extremely powerful trolling motor.
And one of the most important things that we didn't mention before, but they're built right here in-house at your Tampa location, right?
Absolutely.
That's an incredible thing, guys. So again, built here in Tampa, right next to where you're building your PowerPole anchors, shallow water anchors and stuff. So really awesome product, guys. Be sure to check out, we've got other videos coming going over a feature by feature of this specific trolling motor up close.
Are you tired of your old marine electronics? At R&P, we make trade-in easy. 3 steps. Step 1, shoot us an email, get a quote. Step 2, send us your old unit and get credit. Step 3, get your brand new unit and get it installed on your boat today.